Hello everyone, here is a video explaining your next assignment, which is the mock interview informal memo report. So we're going to take this time during this video to go through this assignment in detail, hopefully answer any questions you might have as you get started on it. But remember, if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out. So let's get started. The report will be submitted to the mock interview informal memo report in SafeAssign in Blackboard. It's going to be due on March 10th at 11:59 p.m. Remember, you'd be able to submit it up to 3 times just with SafeAssign. You will be marked on the quality of your answers, the content, grammar, and formatting. Okay, so that's where your marks are going to come from. So first, what I'd like you to do is watch this YouTube video here that explains the format of an informal report in the form of a memo. Okay, so on here you're going to see the instructions. This video was created by my colleague Marla, who teaches in the DL program. It shows you the exact layout and format of a memo that you should be following for this assignment. So you shouldn't even start this assignment before you watch this video. Okay, and when you're proofreading, make sure that you go back, watch it again to make sure that you're following all the proofreading requirements, because as mentioned here, formatting is going to be a big part of your mark. Okay, so then let's talk about the content of the memo. So the assignment background, the online interview that you're going to be having in the next few weeks with Shelly and Andrea is going to be like any other job interview. As you know, students were emailed the link to meet with their interviewer, so Andrea or Shelly, and from the moment that they arrive online to the time that the interview ends, they're to interact with the mock interviewers as they would with an employee. The mock interviewers will assess students on their professionalism based on their appearance, greetings, introductions, body language, the way they answer questions, both in terms of content and in terms of volume of speech, clarity of voice, etc. How they market their skills, how they behave at the end of the interview, so the closing. These guidelines are also discussed in the Career Services Blackboard module, which we're going to talk about below. So that's the background. So you're going in, you're going to have these interviews the week of March 16th, and this is what you can expect in those interviews. Now here are the assignment requirements. So your first step is to research. Okay, so this will help you answer the questions that come up. So first you must research. Research step number 1 is to review the information in the Career Services Blackboard module. And then I have information here, exact steps on what it is you have to do this Blackboard module. Okay, so that's part 1 of your research. Part 2 is then to review the handouts from the Career and Employment Center that will be attached to the assignment in Blackboard, which explain how to access Big Interview and how to make the most of the resource. Then on Big Interview, you're going to complete the Fast Track Learning module, and I've linked that here. So I'm just going to open it quickly. So it looks like this. So once you open it and you get all logged in, you're going to see that there are different certificates and different things you complete. But what I'm going to want you to do is this fast track here, the 16 video lessons. Okay? So those 2 pieces are part of the research process. So that's what you're going to be doing as part 1 of the assignment. Then part 2, you're going to write a 2 to 3 page informal memo report on preparing for the mock interview that you will have the week of March 16th by answering the following questions. Make sure you answer the question using true information about yourself. Okay, so don't falsify anything. Also make sure to put information into your own words and do not plagiarize any material from the internet. Insert a header on pages 2 and 3, but do not have a header on the first page. So the headers and how to set those up, those are covered in the video up top here where we explain the format of the memo. Okay. So in the body of the memo report, you're going to cover the following. First, you're going to write an introduction to the report. Then you're going to have these components of the report. The first component is before the interview. So you're going to identify the research, the research that you've done of the organization that you're having the mock interview with. So in this case, it's Medicine at College Academic Advising Services. Remember, that's the job posting that we've applied for. What have you learned about the organization? What questions do you expect to be asked in the interview? And tell how you would answer these questions here. Okay, so give me an answer for each of those. So if Shelley or Andrea were to ask you them, how would you respond? Identify from your research, write in your own words what you've learned about interviews. Answer the question, are you ready for an interview and why? And what would you wear to the mock interview? So this is component number 1. So you'd put it under a heading and then you'd include the information below. Then the next component is during the interview. So from your research, from part 1 of this assignment, what suggestions do you have for how you would conduct yourself during the interview? What questions would you ask the interviewer if at the end of the interview they ask you if you have any questions? That is something you should be very prepared for. Then the third component here is after the interview. So you're going to sign on to Big Interview and then click the Practice tab and then select Practice Interviews on the right-hand corner of the page where you'll then see custom sets. Then scroll through until you see the Administrative Office Professional or Management program and click the Play button. Practice any 10 of the 15 interview questions by recording your answer and then watching your video to see how you did. Okay, so this is the actual practice component. Then what you're going to do is in the memo, you're going to describe 3 things you learned from watching your videos where you answered the interview questions. Okay. And then finally, you're going to write your conclusions. So that is what is the content of your memo. That's what should be written. Then the third step of the assignment is to submit the memo report to Blackboard through SafeAssign. Again, you'll have 3 SafeAssign submissions. The final attempt will be graded. Okay. Then this project is worth 10% of your grade. So I will be uploading this video to the asynchronous lecture material for this week as we get into week number 8. But as a reminder, we're not covering any new content this week because we're going to be preparing for our midterm, which is on Thursday. And midterm prep or practice run through midterm will be on Wednesday. So I'm going to highly encourage everyone to make sure they are attending class on Wednesday. And if not attending on Wednesday, just a reminder that if you show up past 8 a.m. on Thursday, you will be late and not eligible to enter into the room. So you must be in the classroom a minimum of 5 minutes early before the exam on Thursday. Well, thanks so much, everyone. That should cover us for this week. If you have any questions, let me know.